Hey everybody, welcome to the Spectacular Fanboy Talk, the only podcast on the internet, period. We're the only two people who've ever thought of the idea. I'm TroyBoy17, you can call me Troy for short, and I'm here with my buddy, Storytelling Vlaire. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name's Storytelling Vlaire. I'm here to give you guys another storytelling review. Oh, wait a minute,
That's the wrong video, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Man. How are you doing, Troy?
I'm fine. I'm pretty tired, and I haven't eaten today, so I'm pretty hungry. So
well,
if my stomach rumbles and the mic picks it up, I apologize, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How are you?
That'll sound great. Oh, I'm, just dandy. Just living life. It's pretty great.
Yeah, that sucks.
Fantastic.
That sounds terrible.
It is pretty terrible, to be honest with you. But I've been reading a lot of comic books, which is pretty great.
That's sweet. What'd you read?
Well, I read a lot of things. And first, you know what? I just have to come out and put this on the record. For those of you who know me, who have watched a lot of my videos, you know I'm more of a DC person. I've always been a DC person. It's what got me into comic books in general. I remember going in there every single week, picking out my Batman, my Supermans, and everything else, and always scoffing at Marvel because they just weren't doing things I was interested in. Let the record show Marvel is one step below on my totem pole with DC.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly, where I used to look at Marvel as the enemy, at least like the comics. No.
You betrayed yourself.
I have absolutely, and I'll tell you what did it: the X-Men.
Yeah,
the X-Men.
Of course, I fucking did.
Yeah, it was the X-Men. This week I read Dark Phoenix Saga, the original one.
Yeah,
and
give me the one based on the movie.
Both movies.
Shit, that's right. There are two movies. They did it twice.
Yeah, both those movies missed the mark.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah. It's just amazing. I think part of the reason what really won me over with Marvel was just that with DC, you kind of have a hard time reading some of the older, like, 70s, 80s things. It's just because it's obviously
I think
dated.
the only thing that holds up well is, like, the Morrison stuff, and then some of the Neil Adams stuff holds up pretty well, but that's kind of about it.
I would say, being very generous, I would say that, like, everything after Crisis on Infinite Earths is pretty modern and easy to read. Because that's when DC...
that was pretty Bronze Age, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was, like, when DC became very modern and, like, was telling their stories a lot like Marvel was.
The Comics Code kind of didn't really matter anymore.
Exactly, They figured out, like, you know what, we need to kind of make these characters a little bit more fleshed out.
Oh, the guy who did the Comics Code's dead? Okay, cool, fuck him.
Awesome, fantastic. We can move on. But no, anyway, when you read, like, early Marvel, it all really matters. And it's all very close to what those characters would mean. I mean, like, with old Superman issues, I would watch Superman, like, do something that would just be horribly out of character. Yeah. And same for his Batman. I mean, Batman would use guns and stuff like that.
Batman would fucking kill people,
And again, we should never hold that against the characters because it's a different time, it's a different era, characters change.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just amazing to me how compelling a lot of these Marvel characters have been throughout throughout generations.
The characters have lasted as opposed to DC characters who, like, even Green Arrow was just a Batman clone for a while.
Right.
And now he's different, but Marvel characters, Spider-Man's always been the same.
Right.
For the most part.
For the most part, yeah. Not to say that Marvel characters have not ever had that kind of problem. There are some that have not been
There are some very
dated
characters for sure.
Absolutely.
With everything, but I am impressed how classic Marvel, specifically the Stan Lee, Ditko, Jack Kirby stuff, how well that has aged. I mean, you can read that shit still, and obviously, like, it's gonna feel a little dated, like the dialogue's gonna be like, oh, okay, calm the fuck down a little bit, but, like, it's still, like, the character, like, it's still Peter Parker,
If you guys ever had a hard time figuring out where you wanted to start reading X-Men, I'll be honest with you, literally just go pick up, like, a combined trade of, like, the first issues of Len Wein's X-Men with Giant Size X-Men. It leads into Chris Claremont, which I'm sure you guys heard that name before. He's the guy who wrote the Phoenix Saga and he wrote, like, the X-Men from the 70s all the way to, like, the early 90s. Jeez. So the X-Men for him were his love child. I cannot explain the X-Men other than they feel like not only like a soap opera that is just constantly going on, but they also feel like they feel like a manga in the sense of it's one person's imagination that knows all these characters, where they're supposed to go, what they're doing, and it's super epic. It feels like the rest of the Marvel universe is built around the X-Men. Because in one story in the Phoenix Saga, not only are they dealing with, some minor spoilers, guys, but I just think this is like a testament to how great the story is. Because mind you, it came out in the 70s. Not only were they dealing with Jean Grey going evil, but they infiltrated this club that was trying to take over Jean. just before she turned into the Phoenix. And while they were going there just to save their friend, some people were like manipulating the situation to make it look like mutants were just, conducting this terrorist attack on this like 1% party that's like down the street from the Avengers mansion. So all of a sudden the Avengers are down the X-Men throats because they're just like, wait a minute, you're attacking politicians, you're attacking like some of America's, wealthiest families. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? So then not only does this whole like Phoenix Saga stuff sucks because they're going to lose Jean, but it also inspires Senator Kelly to become president to initiate the Sentinels. All this stuff happens in just one story arc. That's cool. And it is just so amazing how jam-packed it all is. Tightly woven. I mean, yeah, it's pretty wordy because it's that time period where not only do we have the art showing us what we're supposed to see, but the text is also telling us what we're supposed to see as well. So it really is the closest to being a book. But
that's one thing I've always found impressive. Like it's so like there is this kind of double-edged sword with a single writer working for a long time.
Yeah,
you can get stuff like that. You can get stuff like out of a manga, but then you also get stuff like out of a manga, where some of it's fucking dumb. And then stuff like Dan Slott, where like, his early stuff I quite enjoyed, but just over time it feels like he just didn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
And he lost track of the character. So like it's always really impressive when a writer is able to stay on for that long and and still manage to keep it.
You know what I think it is, to be honest with you? I think it's because it's a team. And because it's so diverse,
and the team can always change too,
right? Like, because it starts off. I didn't realize this till someone pointed it out, but in the early X-Men for Chris Claremont, they were actually making a lot of effort to move away from the first appearance X-Men.
Really,
that's why the tragedy of Jean Grey happened, because basically they were just trying to get rid of all the white males.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you had Beast, you had Angel, you had Iceman, you had
Beast
Cyclops.
Is blue. Thank you very much.
Not early Beast.
Oh really?
Really, he was just it's just like X-Men First Class. You remember how he was just some white dude and he would just jump around and stuff like that?
I didn't fucking know that.
That was the original Beast.
Damn, First Class is so fucking good. First Class is so fucking good.
No, it does a pretty good job.
I would like the record to show that First Class is the best X-Men movie ever. And if you disagree, you're wrong. And your opinion is wrong. Okay.
I think it's definitely the most accurate, aside from the team, because it definitely needed like Cyclops and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, the team's always changing. Like at one point, like after the Phoenix Saga, Scott basically retires and goes off to do his own thing. And when that happens, not right when that happens, but a little bit later, Storm becomes the leader of the team.
That's cool.
And according to X-Men fans, like that's their favorite leader of the X-Men.
Yeah, I remember when Storm was gonna be like coming back with was it Apocalypse? She was coming back.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was. People were losing their minds about it, and then she was done terrible.
And then, like, you just have some characters like Wolverine who disappear and go to Japan and try to settle down, but then their entire life gets ripped away from them. Yeah. Or the fact that you read these X-Men comics for 10 years or 5 years or so, and it leads up to extinction, where the whole world is being killed off by Sentinels, just like in Future Past, right? Imagine reading that for like 10 years. You're reading X-Men comics, and it leads to the point where annihilation happens, and like not like the story, but just in general, the apocalypse happens, and then your characters have to go back in time to fix it 5 years back when you probably started reading.
Yeah, it's like consistent and clean and like
it's so clean and it uses the universe. It makes me interested in reading the Avengers, which is a horrible thing I never thought I would say. But no offense to anyone who likes the Avengers, sorry guys. But yeah, dude, it's just man,
that's awesome. So when you read Phoenix Saga, did you build up to it? You read up until that point?
No, because that honestly is an omnibus in itself. Because the Phoenix Saga really is like a big thing. The reason why is because it happens in one issue where she becomes possessed by the Phoenix. Yeah. Then like 4 story arcs go by. And there's like slow teasing as to her, slowly kind of going evil and being manipulated by the black, what are they called? The Black Club or something like that. Black Hand. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, Hellfire. No? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. Eventually, once they manipulate her and their plans come into action, that's when the Phoenix story actually happens in a trade paperback. Okay,
so you still got some of that buildup of the characters and their relationships. Yeah. Okay, because I've always understood I haven't read too much X-Men, but I've had fans explain to me that the reason why the Phoenix Saga is so good is because you grow to love the characters and the relationships so well, which that's such a fucking impressive thing for a team.
And coming from someone like, for instance, me, my first exposure to X-Men was honestly X-Men Last Stand.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
You know?
Me too.
When I first saw Jean in that film, I honestly had always seen her as that actress, and I've always seen her as evil.
Yeah.
In my mental image of Jean Grey, I've never seen her as like a loving, compassionate team member, which sucks because that's character is that. And reading this series just really makes me like really love and appreciate Jean Grey in like a new point of view. It's almost like watching MJ get, taken. And the entire moment when she gets taken by the Phoenix is fantastic. Yeah. Scott Snyder recently said that when he's writing his Justice League run, he uses a lot of narration to make the book feel more important than it is. Okay. A lot of old Marvel events used to do that, like Infinity Gauntlet, Secret Wars. They use like this epic, grand narration,
almost kind of like Kingdom Come-ish,
basically, to make you feel like the stakes are higher and more important. Yeah. That's what happens when she becomes the Phoenix. Like there's literally like a moment where it says, it's like she absorbs the sun and kills that planet. She doesn't recognize it, and the narrator is just like, it is in this moment, after Jean had annihilated 10 billion aliens on this planet, that she was more powerful than Galactus.
Oh, fuck. Okay. It's like a
very
almost literature style. Yeah.
It's so beautifully done. The thing is, too, is what makes it really hard for me to press on with the X-Men is that and this is probably its greatest Achilles heel, is that I can't read a story that takes place like, maybe a year or so after that.
Yeah.
Because I honestly want to know what happens immediately after.
Yeah.
Because all of these ramifications have, like I said, when Jean dies, Scott retires.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Yeah. And a lot of and then also, I didn't know this, but reading Dark Phoenix, it actually has Kitty Pryde show up for the first time.
That's cool.
I love reading Kitty Pryde. But yeah, overall, if you guys have any remote interest in X-Men, if you're high off of the House of X stuff like I am, I think you guys owe it to yourself to go back and check it out. You could probably pick it up at your local comic book store for like $20 or something. Okay. But anyway, I read that. Caught up on Slott's Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Has it been as good? I remember it started out pretty strong.
It is a very interesting thing for me.
Yeah.
It's very like, one minute I really love it, the next minute I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe because I just don't, this is going to sound mean, but I just don't really care about the kids. It
really?
Focuses on them a lot.
I could see that.
It's just a little too much.
Yeah.
Because what I want is I want to see the Fantastic Four go out into some crazy location and just like figure out how to get out of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But most of the time, I'm just watching the kids kind of pout about how they're not in space anymore doing Future Foundation stuff.
Oh, okay.
Good news is the kids now have their own book because Marvel can't stop printing new number ones.
Yeah.
So
maybe there'll be a little bit less of
right,
it, yeah.
Because now that they have their own book with their own adventures, the kids can kind of just have like a guest appearing, thing.
Yeah.
So then the Fantastic Four, just about the Fantastic Four. The last two issues had me really interested because it had do you know who Alicia is? I think that's her name.
Sounds familiar, but I'm not totally sure.
She is Puppet Master's daughter.
Okay.
She's blind. Her and Ben Grimm have had a relationship for this like entire time since like the beginning. Since, like, the Jack Stan Lee stuff. Well, they got married. I'm sure.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, they went on a honeymoon this latest issue. Spoiler alert, guys! If you guys don't want to know what's going on in this Fantastic Four issue,
what's the issue number?
It's 12 and 13.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. 12 and 13.
Just
the newest ones. If you see the one where it's the Thing versus the Hulk on the cover, that's that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, so they're going on their honeymoon, and the Thing is just like, okay, I'm gonna put this thing that's gonna cure me for a week, so I'll be human, and me and Alicia will be able to like hang out, and I can potentially start a family because he wants to have kids.
Yeah.
And
just get some rocks, man.
Yeah, I don't want little rocks. You know what I mean? I want little Earth babies. So he goes there, and everything's all well and good. And then, as the Thing would say, superhero shenanigans happens. Puppet Master, who is her father,
Yeah.
disapproves of this entire thing. So he creates like a little mold of the Hulk, takes over the Hulk, and makes the Hulk go to their little island and fight the Thing. And I think Slott was just playing with the idea of like, you know, who's stronger?
Yeah.
Is it the Thing or is it the Hulk? Obviously, it's the Hulk.
Yeah.
But the way they like play it off at the end, the way like the Thing defeats him is kind of funny because it's just like the Thing may not be smarter than Bruce Banner and it may not be stronger than Bruce Banner, but Alicia described it as you have a bigger heart and you have something to fight for.
Okay.
You know, and anyway, what's funny is so she beats him, and when he beats the Hulk, he like knocks himself out.
Oh, okay.
And he's knocked out for a week.
Oh, fuck.
And the funny thing is when he's knocked out for a week, that's when he was human.
Oh, yeah.
So he wakes up, and he's like, the Thing again.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, it's a week later?
Fuck.
And he's just like, this is bullshit, man. And it's cool, you know? This last little arc was nice, because like I said, it just focused on Ben Grimm and his relationship, and I think Ben is probably one of my favorite members of the Fantastic Four. Yeah. But yeah, I read that, and then last thing to note, I read the Charles Soule Darth Vader first 5 issues.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good.
Yeah. I want to continue with it. I can't find the back issues, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically it's just Anakin wakes up from the operating table, and spoiler alert for the Charles Soule 2017 Darth Vader Star Wars run, just so you guys know. Anyway, he wakes up and Sidious is like, you failed. You need to get your own lightsaber. And the way a Sith gets their lightsaber is by
bleeding,
that, and you have to kill a Jedi for it.
Yeah.
You know, so
I remember when that was added, I was like, that's so fucking cool. That's so much better than fucking whatever it used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So they
just gotta fix the fucking Jedi colors now and actually give them meaning.
Seriously. Please, Disney, do it.
They tried to at the Galaxy's Edge. They really tried, but they couldn't.
They just fell flat.
Yeah.
Fantastic, guys. Doing a great job with your $1 billion franchise.
$1 billion.
Please. Oh, my bad. $100,000 franchise. No, just kidding. I love Star Wars as much as the next guy. Anyway, yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Anakin defeats the Jedi. He gets his lightsaber. What I thought was really cool is recently I've been rewatching Rebels. My girlfriend has never seen it, so we've been watching it to anticipate the upcoming Star Wars movie. What was nice is the very second arc has Vader training the Inquisitors, including the Grand Inquisitor. Yeah. So it kind of explains a little bit more where they come from.
So is it canon that Vader teaches them to do the helicopter thing and fly around?
Damn straight.
Is it
No, I didn't see
classic
that.
Anakin. Classic Anakin right there. Spinning is his trick.
You making a joke of this is reminding me of last night. Last night we watched the finale of season 2.
Oh, that was the good
so
shit.
Good,
that was the great shit, yeah.
Yeah, that was so good. Yeah. It's just the helicopter thing was a little weird.
It's so goofy. I love it. It's so funny, but it's so goofy and it kills it. It kills those Inquisitors for me.
My girlfriend got
when they show up in Jedi Fallen Order and they do that, I'm gonna be like, fuck, goddamn it.
I'm like, ooh, this is great. Yeah.
But that's cool. I remember I read, I don't think I finished it, but the old Vader comic, the one that was set during, between 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I loved that. That was
great.
It's great. That's great. So if it's anything close to that, like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was worried that when they were redoing it and then the art was a little bit more comic booky, because the last one looked a little bit more like a Jason Fabok.
Yeah.
Kind of,
well, they took a lot of, like, they would even take, like, screenshots from the movie and trace over them.
Basically, exactly. This newer one really takes liberties with the art, but to be entirely honest with you, it's pretty great. Yeah. I mean, when Vader has to rebuild himself after his, like, fight with the Jedi.
Okay.
And Sidious is like, okay, I'm going to rebuild you. And then Vader's like, stop. I'm going to. And he's like sitting there in his chair, completely restrained, and you just see the Force. He like picks up like all the tools and he rebuilds himself. Because, you know, he's Anakin.
Yeah.
So
builder of C-3PO.
Basically, yes. Darth Vader, destroyer of thousands of universes.
Killer of children and builder of a robot.
Damn straight. He's really good at killing children. Yeah, anyway, if you guys like the Clone Wars or Rebels, I think it's worth checking out because Anakin also visits a lot of planets that you saw in Clone Wars. Okay. So you kind of get to see this unique like moment where, you know, he showed up to that planet in the first place as a savior, but now he's coming back as, you know, as a horrible person.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool.
I think that's where the series really shines. Yeah. To be honest.
Okay, that's cool. I'm into that whole aspect, especially like that period between 3 and 4 has always been my favorite. Like just after 3, where the Jedi still exist but they're being hunted. Mm-hmm. I've always really liked that time. Like the Force Unleashed era. That's always really cool to me. Yeah. But so that's cool. That's cool.
That's basically everything that I've read. Yeah. Anything to note? Yeah, like I said, big Marvel guy right now. It's scaring me.
Cool. I had a crazy couple things. There was one thing that I did nonstop, which I'll get to at the end. If you're following me on Twitter, you'll know, because I have been talking about it nonstop because I love it. But comics that I read, I just read Spectacular Spider-Man, not Spectacular, but Friendly Neighborhood and the newest Amazing issues.
Oh, okay.
Those are good, still very good. They're leading up to other things, clearly, but so nothing really of note to...
Which one do you like a little bit better?
I still have a preference for Friendly Neighborhood, I think.
Oh, okay.
Just because Tom Taylor has a better... his style is a little bit more for me, but it's mostly just because I read them back to back usually. Yeah. I tend to lean towards one or the other, but and I prefer the smaller scope stuff, personally. But that's just a minor preference. They're both still fucking incredible. I love them both.
Yeah, with Friendly, I'm not too hooked on this arc.
Yeah, this arc. The arcs are weird. I'm not the biggest fan of the actual plot that happens, but the tone and the way that he's written feels a little bit more.
He almost has it for me because, but it's actually funny because I guess Tom Taylor and Nick Spencer, if you combine them together, you'd have perfect. You would have the perfect Spider-Man writer. Yeah. Because,
so the fact that they're both two separate series is
because Nick Spencer creates the plots that I'd want to see. Yeah, the whole the
hunted stuff.
Sinister Syndicate.
Yeah.
Hunting
down
not
Sinister.
Boomer.
They're just a syndicate.
Oh, the Syndicate.
My
bad.
Yeah, you missed that line.
Ooh. All of that kind of crazy wacky stuff and how it's connected to Peter. That's clearly Spider-Man. Yeah. But then the way that Tom Taylor focuses on detail. And
I might just be getting a little bit tired with the Boomerang stuff personally. Mm-hmm. I like him and Spencer clearly knows how to write him because he's written him forever. Mm-hmm. So and I don't hate it. It's just I feel like we've had a lot of it as of late. I would like an amazing run that has nothing to do with Boomerang for a while.
I feel like Boomerang's gonna become a good guy.
No, he absolutely is. Yeah.
I feel like there's
100%.
Yeah. There's no way that I really think that's what's gonna happen. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of down with it.
I'm down with it.
Just because Boomerang is a character who's been around for a long time. Yeah. The fact that I'm collecting spectacular issues from the 80s where it has him versus Spider-Man. Yeah. Tells you how long this character's been around. So, I'm excited for either one. Both of them are not necessarily amazing, or blowing me away as of right now.
Yeah, but they both have the core that they need to. Yeah. It's just the plot.
They have the capacity to do it, and to be honest with you, Amazing has already been hitting it on all the points that I wanted to.
This arc's probably just a bit of a filler thing.
And so is Friendly. I feel like this next issue of Friendly is going to win me over.
Yeah, we'll see.
It'll be the death of Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's going to die forever. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But those were really good. I enjoyed them. Spider-Man comics have been knocking out of the park as of late. I haven't been reading Symbiote, but I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, I heard it was a very 90s comic. Yeah. Or not 90s, a very 80s comic. Okay, you literally plucked it from that time period. Okay. And, here's just something you've never seen before with modern art.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So I read those, and then I saw a couple movies. First movie I saw Scary Stories Told in the Dark.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it?
No.
It's good. It's fine. It feels very much like one of those Halloween movies that you put on. Mm-hmm. It's very much I don't want to say a Disney Halloween movie because it's a lot scarier than one of the Halloween Town and shit. Yeah. But it has that same kind of energy of it's set during Halloween. It's set in the 60s. I really like the aesthetic of it. The effects were good for the most part. The monster designs are awesome. It looks like they're ripped right out of that fucking book. Yeah. Which I never read the book as a kid. I was too scared. Uh-huh. And my girlfriend, we saw it together. She loves the books as a kid. So she said they weave the stories together really well in an interesting way. She really, really liked it. So, I'm trusting her opinion. I had a good time with it. There was some stuff that was a little bit too weird for me. Not weird, but there was some stuff I think it could have been improved upon, but nothing that I could describe so much. It had kind of an off feeling. I think my expectations were really high because I thought Del Toro was directing it. I guess he's just producing it. But and the main characters, I don't really care about any of them. They're fine. They were just they were just there to be there. Yeah. But and then the next movie I saw was I saw The Lion King.
Oh, did you?
But I saw it for free. I saw it at a free there's a free screening of it, so I didn't give the mouse money.
Oh.
So don't fucking worry about that.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason I saw it, because I wasn't paying.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, was it not great.
Yeah?
It was about as... Okay, it wasn't awful.
Yeah.
I went in with incredibly low expectations.
Yeah.
Like, I expected to hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate it. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But just, like, I liked it as much as you possibly could, like, a live-action retelling of that story.
Yeah.
You know, like... It is, like, I joked, I saw it with my girlfriend, and I jokingly said, I was like, man, they should make a cartoon out of this. Because that'd be so much better. Because literally, they don't, so it's a half hour longer.
Yeah.
You know what they add?
What?
Nothing. They don't add anything. I don't know where that half hour came from.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
It's so much weirder, and, like, they cut stuff out. They cut the Scar song out, which I love that song.
Yeah.
And Scar just in general is so much worse.
Yeah, from what I understand.
Yeah, like, he's not, like, the cast does the best they can do.
Yeah.
Like the kids Simba and Kid Nala, I liked them quite a bit actually. They were pretty good. But just they don't have the capability so much in like, and on top of the fact that the mouth movements look weird, and it's not the mouth movements that bothered me, it was the eye movement. The eyes don't move. They have the same eye expression the whole time, but then their mouths are moving, so they don't have any. It's just that's what I noticed. Every problem that everybody's brought up for it is accurate, is on point.
Yeah.
But Timon and Pumbaa were funny, you know, but their jokes in there felt a little like they'd be dated in a couple years. Like they felt like very 2019 jokes that aren't going to age well. And I missed the first couple minutes because the screening like started playing it earlier than they said they would. So like fuck that was bullshit. So I missed the first few minutes, which were the only minutes I was excited for. Oh, yeah, I was really looking forward to the intro because like there's no talking in it. Yeah. Nobody moved. It's just animals existing. So that's sounding. But and Rafiki touches poop. Rafiki, nice. So you know how I'm gonna spoil it, kind of. You know how in the original, how Rafiki finds out that Simba's alive, like he sits down and his hair kind of blows out all the way back to his house.
Does Rafiki pick up Simba's poop?
No, it's so much more complicated than that. If only. So Simba's fur brushes off. It goes into the water. It gets picked up by another animal. It gets picked up by like a bird and taken to a nest, and then the bird throws it out, and then it goes onto a tree, and then in a bunch of things. But then a giraffe bites it. Giraffe eats the leaves in the hair. It fades to black, fades up on a bunch of poop, and a beetle is like rolling it around, and then the poop breaks open, and then an ant picks up the fur covered in poop, and then Rafiki takes the hair and is like, Simba's alive. So first, like, my first
that's
question.
Where the 30 minutes went.
Yeah, basically, it was so fucking weird. They spent so much time on it. And it was so unnecessary. It was such a weird thing. And then I was under the impression... I saw the Broadway show. You've never seen the Broadway show, have you? Like, it's a really good show. It's my favorite. It's great. And in the Broadway show, they added a song from The Lion King 2 called He Lives in You. Mm-hmm. And it's great. It's a really good song. And they play it during when the scene of, like, of Simba, like, looking up to the sky and stuff and seeing Mufasa. And I thought they were going to play it. Because I saw on the soundtrack, they have a version of it where it's all Swahili, and it sounds really cool. They don't play it. You'd think that'd be one of the things they added, because that whole scene is so much fucking worse than the original. Because the fucking, you know how he looks to the sky and it's a version, and it's Mufasa sitting up, you know, and you see his face. Because they focus so much on being realistic, it's just a bunch of clouds, and then lightning strikes, and it kind of looks like a lion. It's so fucking dumb, and it's so much worse. And then they play a Beyonce song. Ooh. As he's running back home, and it's so clearly like a modern Beyonce song, and it doesn't fit at all. It's like, I like Beyonce, but she was not really the best pick for this movie. Yeah. It's just, a lot of it was just not. It was just so much worse than the original, but not so bad to the point where Disney's gonna learn. Yeah. That's the worst part about it. It was a mediocre thing. Yeah. Yeah. So that was rough, you know?
Yeah, that sounds rough, honestly.
Yeah, it wasn't awful, but because I love The Lion King so much, it was just painful to sit through, you know?
I heard this on a Nostalgia Critic video a long time ago. He used to critique all of the Dr. Seuss live actions that they would do, or the animated ones, and how horrible they were in comparison to the book.
Fuck you, The Cat in the Hat's amazing.
No!
It's great. No, it's great. It's great. Fuck off.
And the moral that he kind of took from all those films was that it didn't matter if those movies were good or bad. Yeah. They served their purpose, and what their purpose was to rejuvenate sales in the original source material. Yeah. So I have a feeling that's
because I mean, seeing this movie made me want to buy the Blu-ray for the original.
Right, exactly. I feel like that's kind
of what
it...
just release the original.
Re-release it.
Again. Yeah.
I do agree that maybe just re-releasing it would probably be a better...
Yeah, because then I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
Disney wouldn't have made as much money. That'd be the problem.
Right.
You know, a re-release of The Lion King would probably only make $500 million as opposed to the $1 billion that they want. Because, you know, they don't have enough money.
No, they don't.
But yeah, so it's just like it's not terrible, you know. If you can see it for free, definitely, but don't pay to see it. Yeah. Maybe
there's
you know,
no
if it's on TV, sure, but yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, just stay away from it.
Yeah, but now the big thing that has ruined my fucking life, absolutely ruined my life because I cannot stop.
Okay.
I've lost all my responsibilities.
Okay.
Because of this. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Persona 5?
No, I have not heard about the good word.
Holy shit, my dude. Holy fucking shit, my man. Holy fucking shit, my man. It is on sale for PSN, $14. I don't know if it's still on sale. It was when I got it. It's normally $20, so if you want to wait, you know, it's fine. Mm-hmm. It is easily like one of the best PS4 exclusives ever. It's up there with...
That's a pretty big...
It's up there with God of War. Claim. It's up there with Spider-Man. It's up there with Uncharted. It's up there with The Last of Us. It is so fucking good.
I don't know if I believe you, good sir.
Dude, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. It's so good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm angry. It's just so fucking good. And like... Oh my... Okay. So I showed you the intro. I showed you those open cinematic. With it's so stylized and the music's so great. Mm-hmm. I think the way to hook... Because... So... I got it. I went in blind. I was like... Because everybody was comparing the new Fire Emblem to it, and I was like, I want to get the new Fire Emblem, but I don't want to pay $60 for it, so I'll try Persona, because like that sounds like it's similar. So I went in blind. The only thing I knew about it was that it was like day-to-day life stuff. You know, you go to school, you go on dates, you hang out with your friends, and then at the end of every month, you do your big raid of a thing. Mm-hmm. That's all I knew, and I knew about Joker from Smash. That's it. And so I went in super blind, and holy shit, this story's amazing. Okay, the story's fucking awesome. So. And I think that's the way that's going to get you into it, because the story is really great.
Okay.
So basically, it's like the pitch is it's Japanese Inception, but a game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but what happens is, basically, to condense it and make it simple, because it is complicated because it's Japanese and it's the fifth in a franchise. It's it's long.
Yeah.
Although 3 and 4, they're all just you don't need to worry about the other 4.
That's cool.
They're all their own separate stories, and apparently 3 and 4 are like. Totally different from 1 and 2, so those don't even count from the original series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but so it's a JRPG where basically if everybody has like if you have your desires are distorted so much from a certain thing, say you're like you're twisted and you're a bad person, or something's happened to you to traumatize to lead to your view of the world has changed, for good or for bad, then in your heart you have a thing called a palace, which is basically a dreamlike state which has the world as you see it. Mm-hmm. So the first ever palace you see is one of your teachers, your PE teacher. He's worshipped at school, and so he thinks he's the king of a castle, and the school is his castle and he's the king. So if you go into his palace, it's a castle. Mm-hmm. And the school is his castle, he's the king, but he's a terrible fucking person. Like he verbally and physically abuses students, and like he harasses them. He's terrible. And so what you can do in these palaces, there's a thing called a treasure. And what you do is you take that treasure, all of their desires and their distorted view of themselves is gone. So they become so ridden with the guilt of what they've done, they confess. So basically the plot of the game is you break into these people's fucking dreams, basically. You sneak in and you steal a treasure to make them not a shitty person anymore. And then
that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I dig it.
It's sweet. On top of the fact that it is the music's incredible. The characters are great.
Sound really good.
Yeah, the music's great. The music's fucking awesome. And then the UI is gorgeous. It's all the red and black is so styled. Ugh, it's so fucking cool. And all the characters are really good. Mm-hmm. So basically every month you go into the palace and do that. But then for the rest of the month you go to school, because you're a high school student. You go to school, you answer questions, take quizzes. Yeah. You go on dates. You hang out with your friends. You basically prepare in some way or another to go to the palaces and stuff, and there are 7 of them total, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I think I'm not done with it yet, so I think I'm on the last one. And it's so fucking good, dude. It's so fucking, and the combat is it's a JRPG, so it's turn-based. And I don't like turn-based combat.
Right.
I do not like it. I don't even like it in Pokemon.
Okay.
It's not my... like, it's fine in Pokemon. I can handle it, but I do not like it.
Yeah.
This is Pokemon combat on the next fucking level. Mm-hmm. It has made me enjoy turn-based combat for the most part.
Okay.
Because... So you know how in Pokemon you have your elements and your styles, and that, like, there's weaknesses and strengths and stuff.
Right, rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. There's like, it's the same thing here, except if you hit an enemy's weak point, their weakness, if they're weak to fire or something, you hit them with a fire attack, they get knocked down. And if you knock down every enemy, you can do a thing called a hold up. And then from there you can talk to them and like rob them, and then they'll retreat, or you can do that all out attack thing that I showed you, which is this big fucking gorgeous stylized thing that does a shit ton of damage. And so basically, instead of consistently hitting, trying to kill an enemy, you're trying to get them knocked down by strategically hitting the right enemies with the right types of attacks. And each party member has a different element. Yeah. And you have to prep. Ugh, it's so fucking good. It's so fucking good. And basically, also it's very similar to Pokemon actually, because every person in the universe, every person they have a mask over their heart, is what it says. And so I'm trying to explain it. It sounds so fucking weird in Japanese, but
that's okay.
It's very Japanese. It's a big weeb game. Yeah. But and you take that mask off, you find out your core self, and then you get this big, giant, powerful spirit thing behind you, and that's how you do your special monster attacks. It's called your persona. Okay. And so you take the mask off, and you have a real mask now. So you take it off. It's so fucking cool. And then you, as your own character, you can take other personas too and swap between them, so you're not stuck to just one. Yeah. It's super good, dude. It's super good. I've been hooked. I've been playing it like every night from like 11 till 4. Dang. It's long. Oh, that's cool. It's like 100 hours of gameplay. Oh, okay. It's crazy. I'm like 60 hours in, I think. And like, it's so fucking good. And like, the story like hooks you pretty early on, and you get into it. And then about halfway through, there was a big fucking twist that is so fucking satisfying. It's crazy. It's insane. It's so fucking... Oh, God. I can't express in words with how good it is without going to spoilers, so I'm not going to do that, because I really want you to play it. Okay. Eventually, it's going to take a lot of time, because you need a lot of time to do it. But it's so good. It's so fucking good. It's insane. I absolutely adore it. I've lost, I've... The reason there hasn't been a video for the past couple weeks is because I've been playing Persona. How dare you? Yeah. How dare you, sir? But it's... Oh, God, it's incredible. It's so super fucking good. And
I like the premise of it a lot. Yeah. Because, I mean, most times, it really is just like, okay, establish relationships, build up your team, and then fight said bad guy. Yeah. I've never really heard of a situation where it's like, oh, here's a bunch of different themes in one video game. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so there's like a castle, there's like a pyramid, there's like a bank, and you go through and you rob these things. And the most fucking satisfying thing ever. So you get to the treasure. You infiltrate your way in, and then now you've secured your route, but the treasure is like anti-corporeal, because as you're doing this, the person that you're robbing doesn't know about it. Yeah, like they because it doesn't exist. Yeah, it's because they have no clue. But so it's not real, so you have to leave, go back to the real world, and then give them a calling card that says, "Hey, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. We're gonna steal your heart." And then the real person's like, "What the fuck does this mean?" But then inside of them, their shadow self is what it's called. They're like, fuck. Oh shit, fuck. Turn up the security, protect the treasure, don't let it happen. And so you have to go back into the dream world, and then they play the song. It's so fucking satisfying. Of just like you've managed to sneak your way in, and now it's fucking time, and you do your big boss fight. It's so satisfying. So you gotta
defeat their ego.
Yeah, and basically, take what they literally love. Is what it is. Yeah, you beat the shit. That's cool. Out of them. Yeah, and just like the fact that like. The social stuff does matter, because you build up your friendships, and as the ranks go up, you get more abilities from them. Yeah. So like, if you're not friends with them, they just exist in your party. You know, you can't do anything. But if you rank them a couple more times, you can do a baton pass, which is basically, a big part of the combat. If you hit somebody with their weak point, you get a thing called a one more, and then you can go again. You have another turn. So you can basically, if you have enough moves of a different type, you can go boom, 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 knock them all down, boom. Big all-out attack. It's super satisfying.
Without having to surrender your turn.
Yeah, and also you the way you get into combat is through the enemies walking around. If you sneak up on them and you ambush them, your whole party can go before they go.
Oh, wow.
So you can just beat the shit out of them before they even get a chance to move. It's super, super cool. It's super satisfying. I suck. I'm terrible at it. So I had to change the difficulty to safe mode, which basically is like you can't die. Yeah. But you die, but then if you die, you can restart. You can come back, and it refills everybody's health.
Yeah.
So I feel bad doing that because now it's turned the game super, super easy, as opposed to easy mode, which was still too hard for me. But I'm there for the story. I'm there for the aesthetic. So like it's enough for me.
Yeah.
Obviously it's not a perfect game. Like because of the amount of stuff you do, it's not perfect. Like you do kind of get tired of combat because it's a ton of it. Most of the stuff is combat and puzzles in the palaces. So I'm kind of I'm coming across times where I'm like, fuck, another enemy it's getting a little irritating, but it's like a pretty minor thing. It's still a super, super good game.
Okay.
Yeah. If you build up your friendship with somebody to the second mark, you can do what they call the baton pass, which basically lets you hit somebody with their weak point, and then you can move it to them. So you can like go back and forth in between different people and different party members and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you build it up so like, maybe they can snap you out of confusion, or they can, they'll protect you from a hit that might, otherwise kill you, or, stuff like that. Or yeah. So it's super, super, it's such a it's a pretty deep mechanic, and like the combat feels good. And like obviously that's the meat of it, but the stuff that I really like is the day-to-day lifestyle, building up your stats and stuff. I have a good time with that. Yeah. So if you hate that shit, you're gonna hate the game, because it's a big part of the game. But it's a super, super good game, super, super great. $20, definitely fucking worth it. So they're re-releasing a version called the Royal, which is basically like the game with extra stuff. But they're not including it as DLC for some reason. I'm not totally sure why. But I'm totally gonna buy it. That's how much I love this fucking game. Okay. I will spend $60 for extra stuff now. It's a new character, it's a new party member, Yeah, yeah. It's so fucking good. It's great. Souls, etc. Yeah, and it feels very actually like Dark Souls. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because you have safe spots, like safe rooms. Yeah. That you go to, and then if you die, you go back to the safe room. Yeah. And every time you save in a safe room, all the enemies come back. So it's like the vampires. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, it's really fucking great. Like. And I want you to try it, but I don't want you to try my save, because I'm so far into it. It's going to be big spoilers. No, that's fair enough. But it's super good. It's super good. And like the main character, Joker, he has a canon name, which is Akira, but I didn't know about that when I named him, so I named him Troyo Boyo. Troyo Boyo. Yeah. So they call me Boyo-san, which is really funny to me. But he's super cool. He's super like, if you've seen him in Smash, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's such a great game, dude. It's like, it's beyond like words about how much I'm loving it. Did you buy the character for Smash? Oh yeah. I bought it well before I even played the game. Yeah, I bought it because it's just like, this looks like a cool character, and now I'm trying to main him because I like him that much. I like him as much as Link. Ooh. Well, not as much as Link, but like, it's getting there. Yeah. Yeah. So it's such a good game, dude. Like if you're looking for something that's gonna take up some time. Definitely can't, and it's voice acted too. It's voice acted in English. Oh, so cool. Like you're not, it's very Japanese. It's definitely a big weeb thing, but it's a pretty good weeb thing. So yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, and if you want to go to the story, there's an anime for it. I wouldn't recommend the anime. I've seen some of it. It just misses it lacks a lot of that style and flavor, and it just kind of turns the story into a regular, boring standard. Yeah. Okay. But It's great, dude. It's fucking great. It's that and like God of War and Spider-Man, like those are the reasons to have a PS4. Okay. Like, yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah, it's great. That's really cool. It's killing my life. Taking all those responsibilities. Yeah. But I fucking adore it, dude. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. So follow me on Twitter if you want to see me lose my mind about certain things. So. Are you ready to move on to our first news topic? Yeah, I think so. All right, so this is a big one. Dropped on Deadline today. I was just scrolling through and I found this. So, first big news to drop today is that Disney Sony standoff ends, and Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige's involvement in Spider-Man is no longer a thing. Yeah. So basically, if you didn't understand what I just jumbled and messed up, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'm nauseous here. Basically, apparently, Kevin Feige is no longer in any involvement with Spider-Man.
and therefore Disney isn't as well. Apparently, Disney and Sony could not work out a deal with the contract of how the money works and who pays for the movie, who makes the money from the movie. Since they couldn't figure that stuff out, Sony is technically taking back Spider-Man. So we allegedly will not see Kevin Feige do anything with Spider-Man, and allegedly not see Spider-Man in anything MCU related anymore.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Troy?
It sounds like there's a lot of stuff up in the air right now. I mean, it sounds more like they're reporting on just the fact that the current deal has not been approved. You're like, they turned down this deal. Yeah. There might be another deal by Disney, who knows. Yeah. It's not the end of the world to me. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the MCU Spider-Man. I don't want to see it go. I don't want to see Tom Holland go. I want to see it improved. Yeah. And what it sounds like to me, actually, this might actually be for the best, because my understanding is that from what I've heard, that the past deal has led to the reason why Uncle Ben has not been important to Spider-Man, and why Michelle has been named Michelle instead of Mary Jane, and why Ned has taken the place of Genki, all those things. Yeah. So this might actually be for the best, because it might lead to those things, what leads to those problems.
Yeah, those iconic Spider-Man things coming back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not broken. The worst case scenario for me is a full reboot from Sony. Yeah. Which would suck. Yeah, it would suck. I would like to see Tom keep going, but not the worst thing ever,
Yeah, according to the article, it says word for word that sources said that there are 2 more Spider-Man films in the works that are meant to have director John Watts and Tom Holland front and center. Yeah. Unless something dramatic happens, Feige won't lead or produce those pictures. Yeah. To get more specific, basically what it is Disney asked Sony to change their agreement. Their previous agreement was that Disney pays for the movie, and then Sony makes all the money from the movie. I think Sony oversees everything, aside from... Kevin Feige's the one who obviously oversees it, but Sony works on it and comes up with a story, and it gets approved by Feige. Well, so Disney now wants 50-50 on financing the movie, and potentially probably on how much money the movie makes. Sony turned that down right away. Doesn't want that. They want to protect their license. So they want the old deal to go in, where Disney pays for the entire movie and Sony makes most of the money. Yeah. And 5% of that money does go to Disney. Disney refused. So that's how we're in this situation right now. My thoughts personally, to me, a best case scenario. Just to reiterate how I felt about the past MCU Spider-Man stuff, I'm not quite as... I don't hate it as much as some other people do. Not pointing at you.
No, you're pointing at me. You're pointing
okay, fine.
No, yeah.
Fine, I'm pointing at you.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't hate it as much as you do. Yeah. But at the same time, I still don't like it a lot. I like this rebooted Spider-Man more than I like Amazing. Okay. But Sam Raimi, to me, is the better Spider-Man.
Yeah. See, I like Amazing a little bit more than this, personally. But, yeah.
So that's where me and him fall on this scenario. Me, personally, if Sony comes out and says there's going to be a Spider-Man 3 and a Spider-Man 4, and it's going to continue where Spider-Man Far From Home left off, and it's just going to keep going in that direction, the difference is we're just not going to see much MCU connections anymore. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be its own thing, almost like, just Spider-Man's completely disconnected almost. If that's the case, then I kind of don't mind it. Yeah. Because they've kind of set all the groundwork for future Spider-Man movies in Homecoming and Far From Home to an extent. And part of my problems with those films have really just been its connection to the overall universe.
It's overdone with its connection. Yeah.
Right. So if you're telling me that, okay, Spider-Man is 100% going to be on his own in his own corner of the universe, well, then it's the same thing as the comics. Yeah. Because Spider-Man doesn't leech off of other characters.
Yeah, occasionally, Tony Stark showed up in the last Friendly Neighborhood issue, but
right, but it's very brief, and it's very, it's small.
And I actually didn't even like that. It didn't ruin the issue, but I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Right. So I agree. I am totally fine with it being Spectacular Spider-Man. Yeah. Perfect example. Spider-Man can work on his own. He does not need a cinematic universe of everybody involved. We may not get Fantastic Four because of that. Mm-hmm. We may not get Matt Murdock, which that would suck. Yeah. We probably weren't going to get Matt Murdock anyway to begin with. I'm sorry, everybody, but we probably weren't. Yeah. So, it's not the end of the world to me. I think it's a big wait and see. I think this is still very early news yet. We don't know the finalized thing.
Note, guys, that it says sources are saying, then da. You know, granted, it is deadline that is.
I'm not saying that it's not. I'm more saying that like.
It isn't official yet.
Yeah, well, not that it's not official. It's more just like a deal hasn't been made yet. That's really what the news is.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
This isn't Disney coming out saying no more Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yeah.
That's not what this is.
This is just a...
Sources are saying...
to rework something now.
Yeah, sources are saying there are problems.
There will be a deal, though. I think it's fair to say that there will be a new deal, especially considering that they've been trying to build Spider-Man up as the next Iron Man. You know, as the next face of the MCU. So, like, that would... really kind of fuck up Disney. So it's going to be Disney who has to make the decision. You know
what I would love personally on for the future of Spider-Man, in my opinion, maybe I'd be the only person, maybe you'd agree with me, is I would love if Sony really kind of just had full grasp on Spider-Man for the solo films, you know, and just let him just do his thing. And then when, let's say, Marvel does a Fantastic Four movie, and they have like a small scene where they're just like, oh, we want a cameo of another superhero. I would love for there still to be a possibility that Spider-Man can show up for those kind of crossovers. That Disney can still make a deal with Sony, and they can keep their deal going on like that. Because I feel like that's kind of the best way for Sony to still get advertisement from the MCU, and Disney... you know, that Spider-Man goodness to kind of bolster their sales and just be like, oh, you don't want to go see Fantastic Four? Oh, well, Spider-Man's in it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Yeah. You know, I think that would be kind of a great way to just... To me, I would like to see it like that.
I agree. I totally agree.
Because, I mean, if they announced that Spider-Man was going to be a part of, like, the new Avengers, I would not be very happy.
Yeah, I don't think... honest. I mean, like, if he were to be a part of the Avengers, it wouldn't bother me too much. It depends on the character. But it's just, it doesn't... Avengers has never been a thing for Spider-Man that I've liked.
Right.
I never liked him as part of the Avengers.
I don't mind him showing up in an Avenger-level threat, because why wouldn't he?
Yeah, especially because everybody lives in fucking New York, so, like, of course he'd show up.
Right. Yeah. But what I'm not a fan of, like, him being a part of the team, being a team member, working with everyone else, and stuff like that. I just feel like Peter Parker has the kind of schedule where he just can't even, like, show up to practice. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And that's not reasonable to say, you know? So, definitely for people who are a really big fan of the MCU Spider-Man, doesn't want the status quo to change. Unfortunately, looks like it is. Yeah. I'll bet what might happen, and it might actually it might become something sort of like the Netflix shows were, where it's connected. They probably may, like, worst case scenario, if they keep Tom Holland, it might end up like that. That, you know, where like, it's part of the same thing. Hey, remember the thing that happened? You know, remember the snap and stuff, but. The other MCU movies probably won't mention him. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind, like, if Spider-Man in his third movie was to just straight up say, I'm kind of done with all this other superhero stuff, and I'm just going to keep being me. Yeah. And they just built the universe of, okay, here's the Daily Bugle, here's Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, you know, here's all this, Harry Osborn, here's Norman Osborn. How old, is he still, did he just leave sophomore year? I don't know. After the whole snap crap, I don't even know. What I wasn't sure. What was it? I just don't know the time jump between Infinity War and. Because again, like every movie takes place in the year that it's set, and it doesn't though. That's a big lie. The MCU timeline's fucked, and I thought Endgame would fix it, but it didn't. It made it so much worse. So because it would make sense to bring in Mary Jane and Harry in college, like, and I figured maybe he would graduate in the third movie or something, but it probably wouldn't be till the fourth movie he would graduate then. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I don't have any strong opinions about this. There are going to be a lot of people going like, "Oh no, it's gone." I don't think it's gone. That's exactly. A lot of reports are coming out saying that, like, it's done, it's dead, Fuck Sony, they did, you know. Again, guys, I think we need to kind of let this blow over a little bit, because it's not finished yet. It's ongoing news. That's really what it is. Feige, Disney, or Sony, someone's going to come out and mention something eventually, especially probably at D23. Yeah. Realistically, D23 is around the corner. If this thing broke out as soon as it did, this is going to be a lot of noise that... Unless if it looks bad for Disney. That might be the thing. Right.
They tend to not talk about the financial stuff at D23.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like to because it makes them look bad because they are bad.
It makes them look like a company.
It makes them look like a monopoly company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they never mentioned the Fox buyout of the last 23. You know,
No,
anything. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, it's just we'll just have to wait and see about everything. Really, I think like that's really
just the wait and see. You know. Again, like I said, in my opinion, a best case scenario would be Spider-Man does his own thing in his own movies. Yeah. There's no guest appearance of any characters. There's no real more connections to the MCU. But Spider-Man still has the freedom to jump into a Fantastic Four movie or X-Men movie or
show
wherever.
up in an Avengers level thing. Yeah.
Right. I think he's still in the universe swinging somewhere.
Yeah, still do the Infinity War Endgame stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just don't have him fucking kill, you know, do the instant kill thing. But... You know, have that level of a character in the Avengers stuff, but then his solo stuff is solo stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Because that's how the comics are, guys.
Yeah.
That's exactly how the comics are.
I know everybody likes to pretend that Iron Man and Peter have this great relationship with the comics. They don't really.
Right, yeah.
They have no opinion of each other.
Yeah, it's just kind of like coworkers almost. You know, I mean, if that.
They're like...
colleagues.
They live in the same city.
Yeah.
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 They're just on such different levels that they just don't see each other.
Right, you know, and it's not that they don't have a good relationship in the comics. No, it's fine. It just doesn't happen. And when it does happen, it's cool. When it doesn't, all right.
Yeah.
You know, but again, yeah, Spider-Man, he's one of those characters who that's why we used to say, you know, he can support his own cinematic universe.
Yeah. I mean, he did, and it's spectacular.
Yeah.
Nobody mentions that.
Yeah.
Everybody when Sony was doing their Amazing series and trying to make their own universe, everybody was like, no, Spider-Man can't have his own universe. Clearly he can.
Yeah, he can.
Because he's had it.
It's just like Batman.
Yeah.
It's just like Batman.
Yeah,
Batman can have his own universe.
Yeah.
You know, he has enough villains. He has enough other vigilante superheroes who support him to make it interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Could Superman by himself?
Maybe. Perhaps.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's not a universe, but maybe a film series.
It's the same thing as like saying like there's a whole universe around like Iron Man.
Yeah.
Could Iron Man support his own universe?
No, not even a little bit.
No. Right. So
I think Superman could because you've got the Superman family a little bit.
Right.
But not as much, you know. Yeah.
Not as much as like Batman.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's what I was saying with like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is so vast in everything that he has, especially after the Spider-Verse. So. Yeah, guys, I know it definitely sounds like some bad news, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
I would actually be fine with I would be okay with them just dropping the live action Spider-Man for a while. Mm-hmm. If that's really what they if they need to reboot. If they need to reboot, don't do live action Spider-Man for like 5-6 years.
Right.
Give me a big break and then focus a lot on the animated stuff.
Yeah.
If we got a solo Peter movie, just like Spider-Verse, oh my god. You know, that would be perfect. And I've been lately. I've just been kind of, especially with the Lion King stuff. I've just been kind of thinking, what can live action really do for us? Mm-hmm. Like, what are the benefits of live action in these types of movies? I can't think of very many that animation.
No,
can't
the
do
only
anymore.
thing is audience's perception.
Yeah,
because for some reason
the realism,
right? Because for some reason it's just like we need to see a real actor because then we
can't emote. We can't relate to a character that looks like a cartoon. Yeah,
right. Even though it's completely
bullshit.
Horseshit.
Yeah,
it's complete crap.
Yeah, I think artistically, an animated Peter Parker movie would be much better than any live action one.
Like, look at Spider-Verse. Yeah. Spider-Verse is one of the best Spider-Man movies, and unfortunately, it's the lowest grossing Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
So that tells you how it goes, which is hilarious because animated movies cost more to make.
Yeah.
So
not as much as MC movies anymore because they're 90% animated now.
Yeah.
Even fucking Spider-Man is a cartoon now.
We will see how it goes.
Yeah, it's a big. This is all a big we'll see.
Yeah, basically. All I can say is like we will definitely see whose influence made this Spider-Man the way he is. Mm-hmm. Because if we get a Spider-Man 3 that is completely disconnected from the MCU, it's either going to get way better or way worse. Yeah. Because either it's going to be Feige was holding John Watts to a certain expectation, and now he's gone, so Watts can do whatever he wants, and he'll mess it up.
Watts is actually secretly as good as Raimi.
Or he's as secretly as good as Raimi.
Or Sony's gonna become the new MCU in terms of limiting them and make it worse.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Basically, this could go in so many different directions.
Yeah, my best hope is that Sony learned from Amazing Spider-Man 2 and that they learned from Spider-Verse, and that with Spider-Verse they didn't really tell them to do anything except put in some Sony headphones.
Again, we will have to see how like Spider-Verse 2 comes out. Because
I'm concerned about that.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know,
it couldn't have been kind of like Deadpool 2. You know, I don't hate Deadpool 2. I like Deadpool 2.
Yeah, Deadpool 2 is fine.
It's just not nearly as good as the first one.
Right.
Because now the expectation was there.
Right, exactly. Now all of a sudden the studio is just like, oh, this can make us money. Okay, so we gotta invest in it more. We gotta make sure everything about it is to our expectations.
Put in some celebrity stars. You put in Pitbull for his songs. You know.
Yeah, but statistically speaking, people like Venom in the film, so we gotta put Venom in the film. Yeah. You know, statistically speaking, people like 4 villains in the film, so we gotta put 4 villains in the film.
Technically, there were quite a few villains.
There was. I think there was 6 villains in Spider-Verse.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah. But. You know what I mean? Like, they add these outrageous
the test audience. That's their
Yeah, they just put a ridiculous amount of pressure on the creators to just pack in as much as they can. I mean, look at the X-Men films. You know what I mean? That's why we got Days of Future Past as the second X-Men film, rather than the conclusion to an epic trilogy that we were supposed to get. You know, that's why Apocalypse sucked. Yeah. So we'll see, guys.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But did you see you want to talk about the Avengers gameplay for a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah. What do you think of it? You didn't see the whole thing, but you saw it.
I'm so excited to play as Captain America.
Yeah.
Because personally, again, on the record, I'm not an Avengers guy. Sorry, guys. I like those movies. I do, to an extent. But it's just most of the team members of the Avengers have never interested me. You know, like Thor, Hulk, Iron Man. I'm sorry. You guys are going to hate me so much. The one I like...
Not even after Jason Aaron, the Thor stuff?
Well, okay, I'm willing to give all of them a chance. Yeah. The one who's, at the bottom of my list is probably, Black Widow and Iron Man.
Yeah, same.
Those are 2 characters where you really got to sell me on a run to try it out.
The only thing that with... People are saying this, people are disagreeing with me, but I think I like Nolan North as Iron Man, and I think he's going to be the thing that makes me like this character, mostly because I like him in Uncharted.
Yeah.
And it's a similar
Nolan
character.
North is a great voice actor.
Yeah. But I watched this morning. It just didn't really get into it. Mm-hmm. Something about this gameplay, and I think the problem is God of War. Look at God of War. Mm-hmm. God of War is the perfect Thor game. Yeah. God of War is the perfect Thor game. Yeah. You have the shit, the axe you throw and you press a button and it comes back.
Yeah.
It feels good. It looks good. It plays good. Everything's about it's good. The Thor gameplay for this looks like a pale imitation of it. Mm-hmm. It's a problem of the fact that there are 6 members. Is it 6 or 5?
Something like that.
Yeah, so 5 characters you try to make in a AAA style quality. You lead to making everything feeling not as good. You lead to everything feeling like Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, I think where it's gonna live or die is, does this actually feel like a Arkham Origins Spider-Man Arkham Asylum / Spider-Man PS4 video game?
Yeah, or is it going to be made in Spider-Man 2?
Or is it... I wouldn't say that. I would say more like Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Well, Ultimate Alliance is different in terms of Ultimate Alliance is Dundercaller. You can't really... But I think I'm talking about every character looks and feels different. They play differently. Yeah. But the quality of how they play isn't going to be up to par with what it could have been. Spider-Man...
right. That's what I'm saying about Ultimate Alliance, because with Ultimate Alliance, it does feel good playing as Wolverine versus Captain Marvel, but ultimately you're kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Right.
It's a dungeon crawler. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like turn-based combat.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It's almost like you're just kind of switching the aesthetic of what you're doing. Yeah. But you're not switching the gameplay of what you're doing.
Well, that's not really the problem here. It's just the quality of the gameplay doesn't look up. When Thor hits a guy with his hammer, it doesn't feel good. That's one of those things that should feel fucking good. Mm-hmm. You're lifting Mjolnir and you're hitting a guy with a big hammer. It should feel heavy. You should feel like there's weight, and the guys should the enemy should get knocked back far, and there should be good animation, good sound design. Yeah, it's not really up there for me yet. Uh-huh. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's pre-alpha gameplay. Maybe they need to polish it a little bit. I'm not sure yet. The game's coming out in 8 months. You'd think it would be, because when Spider-Man first showed that gameplay, it looked great. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, on top of the fact that it's going to be a game as a service instead of a full game anymore, that is it. I was excited for this game when it was first announced, and now I'm just kind of skeptical, personally.
Yeah, it sounds like they're trying to go at it like an Anthem kind of thing.
Yeah, and Anthem's not great.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see. When I saw the Captain America gameplay, Captain America is my favorite Avenger, personally. just because of who he is and also the way he fights. I just think it's so cool watching him fling his shield around and punches and stuff
Even
like that.
That just didn't look great enough, you know?
It just depends. I mean, at the end of the day, where it's going to live and die is how does it feel?
Yeah.
Do you feel like an Avenger or
do you feel like a guy pressing buttons?
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
I do hope the best for this game.
I do too.
Because, I'd like to see what DLC characters they would decide to add to it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we might get Kamala Khan or
yeah. I mean, we totally are. She's in the gameplay. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'm curious to see how this goes. This definitely leads the way to eventually being a Justice League video game.
Yeah.
Whenever Rocksteady decides to actually do something.
Yeah.
And not
if it's even Rocksteady, I don't think it'll be Rocksteady at this point.
I mean, who knows what they're doing? Yeah. Apparently, they're doing something.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean,
yeah.
If this is what the Justice League game would be like, I think maybe take a step back and take more time at least to do it.
We got to see what a good Superman game looked like.
Yeah, with the demo thing.
Yeah. I watched a full playthrough of it from Angry Joe, and honestly, you just add a few little gizmos, gadgets here or there.
A big thing that nobody mentions with a lot of games, there's very little to do in a lot of the best games.
Yeah,
like in God of War, you run around, you fight.
Yeah,
that's all you do in God of War. But God of War's great.
Right, but
Uncharted, you go around, you shoot, and you climb.
Yeah,
that's all you do, but it's great.
Right. I mean,
Spider-Man, you swing around, you fight, you're done. That's it. But it's still good. So it's a Superman game is totally possible. You just have to add a good story.
The gameplay has to be good. The story has to be compelling.
Yeah.
And I mean,
give it enough stuff that is seemingly diverse.
Yeah.
That Sonic video, all that a Sonic game needs to be is just run around fast from point to point.
Yeah.
And same with Superman, I think, where you can, fly around point to point.
Yeah, I loved it where,
saving people.
The dude was, fighting a bad guy, and then he threw the bad guy up against a building, and all of a sudden you saw, the health bar of the city go down.
Yeah.
And it's just that's cool.
Yeah.
Because that's what a Superman kind of video game should be.
Yeah.
It's just being cautious about what you're doing in a boss battle.
Speaking of a Superman game, did you see they're making a One Punch Man game?
Are they really?
Yeah, and you know what it is?
What?
It's one of those the anime fighting games which are all the same and they're not great.
Yeah.
But what it is you play as other characters fighting the bosses and you have a timer. You just have to survive till the time Saitama gets there, and then you beat them in one punch.
That's hilarious.
It's so and there's a timer of him running to get there.
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny.
That's really
hilarious.
It
looks like a bad game, but that concept is funny to me.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So that would be that just reminded me of that. But yeah, I mean, just with the Avengers stuff, it's it could really go either way for me. I'm just concerned that it's going to be a quantity of gameplay over quality of gameplay thing, you know? Whereas with the Spider-Man stuff, they had, years to fine-tune what he felt like,
Right, I mean, it's the
with,
difference.
With this, they have a fifth of the time to do it for Thor.
Yeah, it's definitely the difference between spending 4 years of development on one character versus 4 years of development
on 5.
Yeah, exactly.
So
or more.
Yeah. It feels a little almost like Overwatch-ish, where they have abilities, and it's
that honestly might be the close between that and fighting hordes of people. I'm just curious of when you have a character like Thor or Iron Man who are going to be flying around, and stuff
fighting
like
grunts is going to be
but to what extent of freedom do you have? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the Iron Man flying around stuff's going to be on rails shooting, the VR stuff. But then he'll go to the ground and you can move, you can hover, you can't shoot off and fly, but you can fly around a little bit in your fighting arena, but then move on to the next area or something. I don't know. It just they really need to polish it up. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Polish it I mean, Overwatch feels good because it's polished. Yeah. Because it's polished a lot. All the characters are really polished. So they could totally do it and make it feel good. Yeah. They just have to make it feel good, really.
This is my bias showing. What would have me really excited for this game, personally, is if it was an X-Men game. Yeah. Just straight up and they were just doing all the X-Men characters. Because then I love for some reason, I don't know why, when I play a video game, a Marvel video game, and I'm playing as the X-Men, I want to fight a Sentinel. Yeah. I straight up want my team of my 4 X-Men together taking on a Sentinel. Yeah. Or an army of Sentinels. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or a Tri-Sentinel or something stupid like that. You know what I mean? Maybe one day we'll get that. Or a Fantastic Four game, which I doubt that would ever happen, to be honest. They'll show up in something, but they won't.
They might show up in...
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That would be I would imagine they would show up in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't know where else they could.
But I think with Avengers, like, the best way that they could do it, and they're not doing it clearly, would be to have Iron Man and Hulk be minigames, basically. Be on-rails shooting or just destruction minigames, and then put the focus on Captain America and Thor, and give the time to polish them up, you know?
Again, we got to see. We got to see what they do.
Yeah, but it's just like, I mean, I don't need to run around freely as Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with just charging like the Rhino minigame from the first Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
You know, and same with Iron Man. I don't need to, have perfect control of him and stuff. I'm fine with just an on-rails thing.
Right.
Like, I mean, Hulk fans and Iron Man fans might not like that. But then we could, I don't know. It's just, it felt so... It just felt weird. It felt wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't feel like it... again,
I think the thing that makes me feel weird is just we recently got footage of it.
Yeah.
And have gotten a lot of information on it.
Yeah.
And it's coming out pretty soon.
Yeah.
And to me, that is a scary sign.
Yeah, and it's like, if it's still not polished to the point where I like it,
Because, I mean, like, with Spider-Man,
Yeah, like 3
you
years.
and me were still in high school when we saw our first trailer of it. And then shortly thereafter, a couple years, we kept getting a little bit more.
A year later, we got the first E3 demo,
mm-hmm.
and then a year later, we got the big
E3 demo with playability on floor, and then the game came out. So this doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
Although then again, we did get a tease of it like a year ago
with
that little
and so like that's why I'm kind of concerned how it's still not that polished.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's coming out in 8 months, that's a lot of stuff to do in 8 months. So they might delay it. Realistically, it might get delayed.
I hope so, and I hope it's one of those delays that's not like Anthem or something like that, where it's just like, oh my god, the game's not done. I hope it's more just like, you know what, let's take this opportunity, let's take some extra time to make sure that whatever it is we put out is going to be worth people's money.
Yeah.
Because especially if it's going to have microtransactions, if it's going to have buyable skins and stuff like that,
make those skins good.
I do want it at the same level as Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's a game that certainly earns your DLC money.
Yeah.
So
I just realized a big reason why the characters need to feel good is because it's a game as a service.
Yeah.
Because this is the groundwork, and the groundwork is not really satisfying to me. Mm-hmm. If Thor felt good, I would be fine with it. If every character felt good, and all the gameplay was fight, but it feels good, I'd be fine. I'd be like, cool. No, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
So, like, that's just what concerns me. Because they're trying to, stretch this out for so long.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't have... If everything is mediocre...
Yeah.
Let's
just hope it's not a normal games as a service.
Yes.
Which, unfortunately, video games in general have not necessarily... have been straying away from that. Even some of the best companies who have been good at staying away from it are getting into it, like Rockstar.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. That's why Persona 5's so good, because it's all there.
Well, that's why I praise Nintendo personally. Yeah. Just because Nintendo does things at a very basic surface level, kind of way, while also just making sure they release a good game.
Yeah.
Because that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. Just release a good game.
Yeah.
Make sure it's good. They don't fire people when their company's in trouble. Their bosses take a pay cut.
Yeah. Or they delay a game to make sure they don't...
to make sure they don't mess it up.
Yeah, it sucks.
Or to make sure... Not even to take time to make sure stuff gets done. Take time so they make sure they don't overwork their workers.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that Animal Crossing got delayed. I'm sad about it too. But I'm much happier about that they're not overworking their workers and making the game terrible,
their workers can have time off. Because, imagine working on a video game for 3 or 4 years, nonstop, crunch.
Yeah, crunch time is the bane of game designing,
You do that, you're not seeing your family. I'm sure you're making, they're not
making as much as they should be for it.
Yeah, they're not making as much as they should be. They're working like freaking slaves. Yeah. And then once the game's done, they're either put on immediately to do DLC or to work on the next game.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Constant
work, you don't ever stop. You don't ever get a break. That is awful.
Yeah.
That is awful.
Yeah. So, I don't know. With this game, we'll just have to see. But,
you ready to move on to some?
Yeah. I think we've talked about it enough.
Okay. I think this would be interesting. So, the Obi-Wan Disney Plus series with Ewan McGregor, possibly.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
What do you think?
I'm excited we're seeing him again.
Me too.
I'm excited we're seeing him again. I'm gonna pirate the shit out of the series. I don't want to pay for Disney Plus. It not only just because I don't want to.
Well, they're doing everything in their power to make sure you can't share your password.
Yeah. I mean, not just because I just don't want to support Disney, but like this Disney Plus thing is going to kill basically what we've had with streaming. It's going to lead to everybody needs to have this one. You know, it's gonna make it worse.
Yeah.
Really, at the end of the day. So. And especially if they kill other competition, they're going to raise the price up a lot. You know, right now it's $7, but when Netflix, if they end up killing Netflix or end up killing everybody else, they're going to jack it up to like 25 because they're like, we're the only one who cares. So, I'm interested in it. I'm glad it's a series that we can see.
I know a lot of people are upset that it's not necessarily a movie. I think
the Disney Plus stuff they're trying to make them movie quality. So.
Yeah, if it's movie quality,
and The Mandalorian looks fucking awesome
with a bunch of episodes, that's fantastic. And to be honest with you guys, I don't know if you've ever read the Star Wars Jason Aaron stuff. Read some of the issues where it's solely about Obi-Wan between episode 3 and episode 4. It's just a handful of issues. It's not hard. Read those. That's my expectation for this series.
Yeah.
Just small pocket stories of like Obi-Wan dealing with the Hutts.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan defending Luke Skywalker's, cottage and stuff like that. Just Obi-Wan living in a world and adjusting to a world where everything he knew and grew up to understand is gone.
Yeah.
And all of his friends, family, loved ones, dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the thing that concerns me is they said that in the thing they said that he's gonna fight he's gonna be involved with a robot person. So I really hope that doesn't mean Darth Maul, because Darth Maul we've told that story, we've had it. It had a good ending. Yeah. Rebels doesn't really leave much wiggle room for that character to get involved with Obi-Wan. So like, it would just I don't want to see more Obi-Wan Darth Maul. I want to see like what you said. I want to see small Western style stories of Obi-Wan on Tatooine. I don't want him to leave Tatooine. It'd be super out of character for him to leave. Yeah. So, like, just tell stories of that, about the character, about him helping other people, watching over Luke.
I think if you have him, and then you can, like, make some other character for whatever... Like, maybe, like, he protects this one character in this one situation, so Destiny now has them
bring like a Dr. Aphra type character.
Basically, exactly. Yeah. And you just have these two characters just dealing with stuff that's on Tatooine. Yeah, I don't want Darth Maul. I don't want freaking Obi-Wan fighting Vader. Yeah. Or Sidious or anything like that. The closest is an Inquisitor who just happens to find him. But he
needs to die.
Exactly.
He cannot get out.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is the closest I'd want it to be really tied to Empire. That and maybe him maybe
flashbacks or something I could see,
Yeah. And maybe flashbacks to the Clone Wars. Yeah. Here or there. Stuff that was relevant, or stuff that is relevant now happened back then, and he learns like a lesson from it. And also show how he learned how to become a Force ghost. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that would be great.
Give me fucking Liam Neeson.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Give us some Qui-Gon Jinn. Give us maybe even a little bit of Yoda sprinkled in there, to help him. Just that to me was the most interesting thing. Was Obi-Wan in one of the Aaron books, he was just like, I can't draw much attention to myself. Yeah. I can't help people. I'm watching people get mugged every single day, and I can't do anything about it. I can't whip out my lightsaber because I just he can't even do anything. Yeah. He just can't do anything. Yeah. And that kind of pressure on Obi-Wan, someone who has been used to helping everybody he could. I mean, look at that episode of Clone Wars where the slavers capture him or whatever, and he's there. And the slavers don't whip Obi-Wan. Yeah. They just whip other slaves. Yeah. And it starts to break Obi-Wan because he's just like, I can't do anything to help these people. I think if you lean into that, you can have a really compelling show on your hands.
Yeah, you know what this show might be? They might give Obi-Wan a love interest, and then boom, he's Rey's dad or something, Rey's granddad, or that might be what they're going for. That might be the way to fill in that gap.
Well, according to like all the rumors and stuff that a lot of YouTubers are running around with right now about, have you heard about like the whole Star Wars shenanigans?
Just that people are saying that Galaxy's Edge was a flop, which isn't really true, but...
Well, okay. So, I mean, I guess this is a new can of worms. Basically, it's kind of like the Spider-Man fiasco with Sony. Yeah. George Lucas apparently, according to the rumors or sources or whatever, when Lucas sold the rights to Star Wars to Disney, Lucas kept like 25% of merchandising rights for his original trilogy characters, or his characters he created. So I think including prequels as well. So that's why there's been such a push to get rid of.
So is that why like all the Anakin lightsaber says Rey's lightsaber? So
yes.
Jeez,
and
that makes sense.
And then that's why like the Stormtroopers have a redesign. Yeah. That's why the First Order is called the First Order. Yeah. And the Resistance is called the Resistance. Yeah. Because it's just like Spider-Man. Yeah. It's just like MCU has like a stake in robotic Tony Stark, Vulture / Mysterio, but they don't have guy in costume with wings. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay. So Disney's trying to stay away from paying George Lucas any more money than they need to.
That makes sense.
So when you take that into consideration, and then you immediately look at The Last Jedi. Yeah. And, and then even Disney's feedback, because remember before The Last Jedi came out, apparently Disney gave it like a standing ovation. Well, damn straight. If their plan was to kill off the original trilogy so they had new characters, of course they're going to be getting a hard on.
Forget the past. Good.
Yeah, good. Oh, good. Thank God. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Make more money. Yeah. To which I got to say, if this is true, because again, I don't want to run around saying that this is true or if it's not true or whatever. It does seem likely, especially because Lucas did fight for the toy rights back in the day when it came to Fox and him. So it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I do find this funny, and at the same time, it's like, Disney, I get you're trying to like maximize how much your profit is, but you guys literally broke a record this year with your, with like all the films you've come out. You are literally the biggest, every single week, you have the biggest film in the box office making the most money. Yeah. Every single week. So what money do you guys not have? Yeah. What money are you losing out on? No, we want more.
We're missing out on the Netflix money, so we want that now.
Now, I get it that Star Wars is kind of on the decline. Everyone's up for Marvel and stuff like that, and right now, all that's kind of left is straight up Star Wars fans. But come on, give them what they want. Give us what we want. Because if you can satisfy us right now when Star Wars is at its lowest, when Star Wars eventually makes its comeback, you'll still have us. Yeah. And the best part is, you'll have us advertising for you. But if you cut all of us off for a generation that doesn't want your stuff because they want Marvel stuff, then what are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? All you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah. Yeah, I've grown to just kind of turn off everything with it, because it's like nothing that Disney does is going to really satisfy me, I think. Yeah. Because like you said, it's all about the profit now. Mm-hmm. Like they're sad they're only giving 75% of the merchandise money. So we can't do that. Right. We need 100%.
We need 100%. We need to absolutely maximize our profits. Yeah. And it's just like, to an extent, I get it. Yeah. But at the same time, it's just like, come on, you know, like you have this now, and based on The Last Jedi, based on Solo, you need to understand that you are hurting the brand. Yeah. There are a lot of people who are no longer Star Wars fans, and kids are not into Star Wars like they used to be. Star Wars is not the next fad. No. Right now, people want to be saved by superheroes. Yeah. People are not thinking about the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which sucks, it sucks, because guess what?
Star Wars is huge. Star Wars is
big, I love Star Wars. I do. I have a Stormtrooper helmet at my house, own lightsaber. Troy has his own lightsaber, as you guys saw. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. But yeah. You want to move on to the next topic?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, what is it?
Krypton got canned.
Yeah, that sucks. I don't watch it. I never watched it, but I've heard really, really good things about it. Yeah. Same. I think I might pick it up. I might start watching it with the DC thing. Mm-hmm. So we'll just have to, there's the talk of HBO Max picking it up though. Mm-hmm. Same with Swamp Thing. So if that's the case, cool. If that sucks, it's a shame that it is a very original show too.
Realistically, I think that's what might happen. Yeah. Although here's the problem, the show actually just wasn't getting the views that it needed to justify a third season.
Yeah, I bet if everybody started watching it on the DC universe now, they would totally get enough.
Right, I think the only reason why you can have some hope that maybe it would come on the DC universe or HBO is because both streaming services are hungry to justify justify content, you know, to make sure that you know that when you buy into these apps, you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah,
you know?
if DC could, if the CW shows would ever stop and DC could produce them on DC Universe, they totally would, because then they'd get a big. Same with Krypton.
Yeah,
obviously not to the extent, because there's only one Krypton.
Right.
But yeah, I think DC's totally willing to put it on.
Yeah, like DC Universe to me seems like they seem like the people who are like, we would kill to have a Lobo show.
They did a fucking Doom Patrol show, man. Like, nobody else would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, realistically, I don't really see this being the end of
No.
Krypton. I mean, definitely for sci-fi.
Yeah.
But I think it's reasonable to say there is still some hope. Maybe not, don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
You know, don't bet on it. But, I don't know, just the way the show went down, and the fact that I bet there was scripts and templates out for season 3.
Yeah.
And same for the Lobo show.
Yeah.
So
is the Lobo show canon too?
Yes.
Yeah, that sucks. That's a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if anything, the Lobo show would probably get picked up, because that's a very DC Universe feeling thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, that is so DC Universe.
If anything, those things will be miniseries that are just the one season just to wrap stuff up. If it needs to, continue, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, again, I don't have any personals because I didn't watch the show. Yeah. So like, I'm not really wanting to talk about it, but it sucks. It sucks that I got canned. But it's not out of the question for sure. So yeah.
What do you think of the Titans poster?
I think that Deathstroke looks really cool.
He does look
Deathstroke looks really cool. I mean, everybody else looks, we've already seen them, so like that's not what to talk about.
Yeah.
His mask it's a little busy. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of shapes, and a lot of sharp
stuff.
Right,
yeah, they do a lot of facial, like...
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad by any means. No. It looks it's definitely the best live-action Deathstroke we've had.
What threw me off, actually, when I first saw the mask, I thought there was only, like, an outline of gold on the side. Like, the whole mask was completely gray.
From that first trailer, or from the...
Well, from the trailer / this poster, but then when I zoomed in on it...
It's
because the creases and the way the shadow was...
Yeah.
Making it look.
Yeah, but like he looks fucking sweet. Like,
no, it does. Yeah. It looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like, I liked the Manu Bennett one from Arrow. I think the design wasn't terrible. People are shitting all over it, but it just blows it out of the water. We'll just have to hope that he does a good version of the character, which I have faith.
Yeah. I think the only character who doesn't look really too great, in my opinion, is Deathstroke's daughter.
Yeah, Yeah,
she just looks a little. But
yeah,
who knows? Who knows?
I'm personally really excited for the season. I think like you could only probably pick up from season 2. You might be fine.
Yeah,
because it seems like it's gonna wrap everything up in an episode. Like, so
yeah,
I'm really excited. This comes out in 17 days. I think is the
snap.
Yeah, so
I still need to watch Swamp Thing to be.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm almost where my girlfriend and I watched Doom Patrol. I'm rewatching it. It's so fucking good. We just finished the Jane episode. No, we finished the Beard Hunter episode. And it's fucking...
Dude, that show.
It's so good.
It's so good. I'm so glad that it's... Again, it's bittersweet that it's going over to HBO.
It's not going over, though. That's the thing. It's still gonna be on the DC Universe.
As long as Season 2 still comes out on DC Universe and it's on HBO, then cool.
Yeah,
okay, cool. Because I was worried that it was getting Season 2
DC
on
Universe
HBO.
is just gonna be HBO Max's just DC stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, like, it would probably... If you don't care about the comics, HBO Max would be the way to go.
Yeah.
But if you really want the comics and the old animated stuff, then go DC.
Yeah.
Or maybe HBO Max might include all the DC Universe stuff. We don't know about that. But
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I would like that. I honestly wouldn't mind upgrading my subscription a month to...
I pay $15 for all of it.
Yeah, for HBO content as well? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Plus you get all your CW stuff.
Yeah. But, so, the Deathstroke looks cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for the season.
And then the last thing to really bring up, this is just a footnote. Did you see the newest trailer for Star Wars Resistance?
No, I saw a screenshot of it, but...
What I think is interesting is the first season of it took place right before episode 7.
Yeah.
Right?
Take place after.
That doesn't take place after. It takes place after Last Jedi.
Really? So it's actually...
Because apparently Last Jedi is gonna... Like, Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker... Apparently there's a huge gap of time.
Well, they have to, because there hasn't been one.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, because what's interesting is that The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, you can go ahead and package them together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just one big, long movie, realistically.
Yeah. One long movie that starts off really, really, really cool.
Starts off really great.
And then
and then it just vomits violently all the way down. Anyway, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren's in the trailer.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Phasma's gonna do
something.
Oh,
Wait. Oh, Phasma was there?
I just kind of connected it. Yeah, wait a minute.
Cool.
If it's supposed to happen after Last Jedi, then what? Does that mean Phasma's still alive?
Oh, cool.
I still have no faith in that character because both times she just they refuse to do anything.
They've written her really well in the comics, but not.
They refuse to do anything interesting with her. So I've lost all my stay with her.
Yeah.
I used to think she'd be a cool new Boba Fett, but no.
Well, she did do the exact same as Boba Fett in the original.
Granted, yeah. I think imagination really helped out Boba Fett, honestly. Just the idea of him doing something cool.
Yeah, because he was barely in it. He wasn't hyped up.
Yeah,
They hyped up Phasma to the point where we were like, oh, she's gonna do something. Oh, she didn't.
That's the thing that upsets me most about the Star Wars movies under Disney, is that I don't mind the idea of these new characters coming into the limelight. In fact, I welcome it.
I really like Poe. I really like Finn. They don't do anything.
But they don't, exactly. They don't do anything with them. They just keep introducing new characters and pretending that, like, oh, if we introduce more characters, that means we can make more toys. If we can make more toys, then we can make more money. Because Star Wars fans are going to buy it because Star Wars fans buy everything. Yeah.
Which they're not wrong about the last thing, but...
They're not wrong about that, but at the same time, the reason why they buy everything is because if it's a compelling movie...
Yeah, if they like the character... Nobody's going to buy the Rose figure.
Exactly. I'd love to see what warehouse all those toys are sitting at.
Because I remember, like, the week of the movie came out, they were already on clearance.
They were, absolutely. And I bet a lot of the Force Awakens Last Jedi characters are on the clearance bin, you know? And it sucks. I don't want it to be like that. It's just... Develop your characters. We don't know much about Poe aside from the comic book,
which are good.
The comic is great.
The comic's great, but it doesn't matter for the movies because the Last Jedi erased everything. From
the Last Jedi, and not saying that obviously Rian Johnson should go read the comic books to go off of it.
No,
but what's infuriating is we can accept inconsistencies between a movie and a comic book, but when the movie version is insuperior compared to the freaking comic, that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem right there.
Yeah, what were we talking about? What was the fucking topic?
Just the Resistance trailer.
Oh, yeah,
It's also the final season.
Disney, is it?
Okay. Yeah, Disney canceled that one too. Oh. I feel like I don't know
because they're putting on a Disney Plus. They're trying to kill it. They're gonna kill Disney Channel or something. All the
see. Here's the thing. It wouldn't make sense to kill it. It would just be more like season 3 is gonna be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe Disney really is shuffling their deck when it comes to Star Wars, which, to be honest, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I was fine with their promise about a Star Wars film every year. Nowadays, no, do not give that to me. Yeah. Don't give that to me. If you're going to give me something every year, give me a new show.
Yeah.
A new show that tells these, like, Rogue One-esque stories that are just spin-offs.
But except with good characters.
Right, with good with good characters, just things like that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm super down. I'm excited for Mandalorian.
Yeah, it looks good. I cannot wait to download that illegally.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But people were always saying this would happen. I didn't think it would happen this soon, but the Star Wars oversaturation has happened.
Has hit. Yeah. It hit. And honestly,
I'm amazed that it happened before the superheroes oversaturation though.
Right.
You'd think, but it's just because Disney failed so much with Star Wars.
Yeah.
They failed so much. With the MCU, they have, for the most part, succeeded pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly. Some people would have thought, like, Star Wars was definitely going to be the next big thing. Just watch.
Yeah.
Now, realistically, I think if you I think moviegoers nowadays, in this crazy world we live in, we just want to be saved by a superhero.
Yeah.
Versus dreaming about what the future is going to look like.
Yeah.
And
except it takes place in the past. It's from before.
Oh, a long time ago.
Time ago, but it's far away, so it's future.
So it's the future. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think Resistance looked that good. Mm-hmm. To be, the first season didn't look great.
Apparently, it's pretty decent.
Really?
Yeah, apparently it's kind of...
It must be like a Dragon Prince style thing where they weren't given much money, but they were also given a lot of freedom.
It's Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know Filoni was... Okay.
Yeah. So his worst isn't bad.
Is Rebels, yeah. Which is...
Well, to be honest with you, I'm actually really liking Rebels. Rewatching it.
The good stuff of Rebels is great.
Yeah.
Bad stuff of Rebels, I think you're coming
I need to... Because, again, I just finished season 2, and I haven't seen the rest of it. I think the problem
is you're watching it all at once, so you get the good stuff more often.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch it weekly, it's like, the only Star Wars stuff I had this week is this terrible episode. you know.
Yeah.
Where I'm bored and I'm just gonna, I would have skipped it if it were, you know.
Right, if it was a part of a big chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because they did like the whale episode in season 2.
Oh, God.
I'll be honest with you, I was
hated
actually digging.
Oh, okay. Well, they matter a lot in season 3, and
that's what I understand.
It's dumb.
How many seasons are there of
I think 3.
Rebels?
I think 3.
3?
Yeah.
I thought maybe 4.
I believe 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because 3 season finale is Obi-Wan, right?
No, it's not season finale. It's in the middle.
Is it?
No, just fucking kidding. I don't even fucking remember.
Because here's the thing, because like I got halfway to season 3, I just never finished it, which I never got to see.
No, there's a season 4. There's a season 4.
Right, because it doesn't go to 5.
Yeah.
Because what infuriated me as a Star Wars fan back then was I was told that
season 4 is only 13 episodes. That's why. Season 4 is a lot shorter.
Because what made me really upset was that we were supposed to see the other side of the Battle of Scarif, but from the Rebels' point of view. You know, from our cast from Rebels.
Yeah.
But apparently
so weird, yeah.
Even though we didn't.
No, yeah.
Always, we don't even know if they survived.
Yeah.
Which, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently Resistance is pretty cool.
Okay.
If you're a Star Wars fan and if you're willing to if you're willing to get past some of the kiddier episodes, which of course what I understand is like the first half of the season is rough because every new Disney show is always rough.
Yeah.
But then it finds its stay.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay, that's cool. But yeah, I'll bet you a version of it is gonna go. They canceled it so that the next one can be a new series. Just like fucking
on Disney Plus.
On Disney Plus, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
just like how they can't. Did you remember how they canceled Ben 10 Alien Force and then did Ben 10 Ultimate Alien?
Oh
yeah. Just so they could have a new series. Yeah.
No, I mean they do that all the time in comic books.
Yeah.
Look at Marvel.
Yeah.
New number 1s every month.
Yeah. Yeah, because the new series do well. They get.
We canceled Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider, so that we can give you Ghost Spider.
Yeah, I still hate that name for her. It's so dumb. It's so weird.
But I think that covers about everything. Unless you have anything to add.
I don't think so. Just play Persona if you haven't. Just
read X-Men.
Claremont. Yeah, but more importantly, play Persona.
How dare you?
Yeah. But okay, cool. So I guess that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching or for listening or for whatever.
Whatever you guys are doing at home.
Yeah. I've been TroyBoy17. This has been Storytelling Blair, and we'll see you around.
Yeah, have a good one, guys. Yeah.